3 in the morning. The house is silent. And then a floorboard creaks. For 1 second, before your reason catches up, before you even remember where you are, your whole body is already certain of something. There is something out there in the dark. Your heart is running before you've decided anything. Everyone knows that second. It doesn't ask permission. Now here's the question almost nobody stops to ask. Why? Why would an animal that sits at the very top of the food chain, safe inside a house, behind a locked door, with the lights just a switch away, still feel this? The answer is stranger than you'd think, and it's this. That fear was never really yours. It's an inheritance. It was handed to you. And back when it was first written into us, it was not a flaw. It had every reason in the world to exist.
To understand it, you first have to understand what night actually was before the light bulb. Really picture it. No street lamp, no lantern, no candle, not even a single match. On a moonless night, out under the open sky, the darkness was total. Not dim, total. You could hold your own hand up in front of your face and see nothing at all. And here is the uncomfortable truth about us. The human body at night is a bad design. We don't see in the dark. Our sense of smell is weak. We're slow. We can't run fast. We can't climb fast. We have no claws, no fangs, no horns, no hooves, no armor of any kind. By day, with tools in our hands and the whole group at our back, the ancient human was the cleverest predator in the entire landscape. Nothing wanted to meet us. But the moment the sun went down, all of that inverted. He slid straight down the food chain. He became prey. And the things that hunted us in the dark, they had names. In Ice Age Africa and Eurasia, the night did not belong to us. It belonged to animals that today sound almost invented. The cave lion, larger than any lion alive on Earth right now. The cave hyena, a bone-crushing hunter the size of a young lion that liked to make its den in exactly the kind of cave a human family wanted to shelter in. Several of the caves we have excavated were packed with gnawed bones, and some of those bones were human. But we don't have to guess. There is direct evidence, and it is chilling. A child's skull was found in South Africa, the famous specimen we call SK54. In the back of it, there are 2 neat, round holes. And when researchers tested them, those 2 holes fit perfectly onto the lower canine teeth of a leopard. That child had been carried by the head, exactly the way a leopard still carries its kill, up into a tree to this very day. Another child, the one we call the Tong child, has curved scratch marks around the eye sockets that match the talons of a giant eagle. Let that settle for a moment. The monster the ancient child pictured in the dark was not imaginary. It was real. It had teeth. It had claws. And every so often, it really did come. Fear of the dark back then was not a neurosis. It was an accurate reading of a genuinely dangerous world. And then, one single thing changed the entire game. Fire. We talk about fire like it was mostly about cooking and keeping warm. But its very first job may have been something else entirely. Holding the night back. Because a predator does not understand a flame, it fears it. And so that little circle of light became the first wall that humanity ever built. Not a wall of stone, a wall made of pure brightness. And inside that wall, for the first time in the entire history of life on this planet, there was a place, a small, warm place, where the night did not get to make the rules. And something quietly beautiful happened inside it. There was suddenly time. Time that wasn't spent just surviving. Researchers who study the last hunter-gatherer peoples still alive today noticed a striking pattern. In the daylight, the conversation is practical. Work,
food, tools, who did what to whom. But at night, around the fire, the talk changes. It softens. It becomes story. Night stopped being only the hour of fear and slowly became the hour of imagination. But don't be fooled by the warmth. That wall of light had an edge, and someone always had to watch the edge. And this is where we find one of the most beautiful discoveries in the whole science of sleep. A team of researchers went and camped with the Hadza, a hunter-gatherer people in Tanzania, and they monitored the sleep of the entire group every single night for weeks on end. And here is what they found. Across more than 20 straight days of watching, the total amount of time when every single adult was asleep at the very same moment added up to about 20 minutes. 20 minutes in 3 whole weeks. There was almost always someone awake. And not because of a schedule. Nobody assigned the shifts. It happened all on its own, by nature. The young ones stayed up late into the night. The oldest ones woke long before dawn. The bodies of the group simply took turns, without anyone ever deciding to. And so the group was never truly blind, never fully undefended. Scientists gave it a name, the sentinel hypothesis. Now hold that thought and think about your own family. The teenager who simply cannot fall asleep before 2 in the morning. The grandmother who is wide awake at 4, no alarm, every single day. What if that isn't a defect at all? What if that is each person's watch shift, still quietly running tens of thousands of years after the very last cave lion died? But not every fear that circled that fire had a body and teeth. Now consider this. The most breathtaking cave paintings anywhere in the world are not near the entrance, where daylight reaches and it would be safe and easy to work. They are found hundreds of meters deep inside the earth, in chambers of absolute, total darkness. Places you could only reach by crawling on your belly through the cold, with a small stone lamp of burning fat cupped in one hand. Ancient humans chose, of their own free will, to travel into the darkest place on the entire planet, just to paint. And the question is, why? Why go there, of all the places in the world? Many researchers believe that for them, the deep dark wasn't just empty space. It was the territory of the invisible, the home of the spirits, of the dead, of whatever it was that lived on the other side of the world they could see. And so, watch what happens here. Right as the real monsters, the lions and the hyenas, finally began to retreat, the human being did the one single thing that only the human being does. He invented new ones. He gave the darkness a name, a story, a face. The first imaginary monster in all of human history was almost certainly born in a circle of firelight, spoken aloud by someone trying to explain that shiver up the spine. Fear became a story, and the story, watch this closely, quietly became a tool for survival. Because a child who is truly afraid of the dark does not go wandering off alone into the night. And that, in the end, is why your body still does what it does. The fear of the dark in small children isn't random, and it isn't a mistake. It appears, and it climbs, and it peaks at the exact age when an ancient child would have been most vulnerable, most likely to wander too far from the safety of the fire. And that cold shiver up the back of your neck when the house creaks at 3 in the morning? That is an alarm system with 2 million years of engineering behind it, working absolutely perfectly, inside a world that no longer needs it at all. So here is the truth. You are not really afraid of the dark. What you carry is the memory of 200,000 generations who had every reason to be. Your body still believes, on some deep and ancient level, that there is a hyena out there in the black. And you know what? Don't resent it for that. Thank it. Because that trembling, overcautious, ancient little alarm is the very thing that carried your bloodline alive all the way here to you. But the fire never only kept the fear away, because it was there, inside that very same circle of light, warm and safe at last, that the other half of the human story quietly began to happen. So next time, we are going to ask this. Did ancient humans fall in love? Was there flirting and jealousy and a genuinely broken heart back in the Ice Age? The most beautiful answer is hidden in a place you would never think to look. Subscribe to Ever Wonder and keep on wondering.